Om Namo Narayana. Welcome back. I am reading today the Hayagriva Upanishad. Before I start, I want to confess I'm going to make a change. I started to record this video, got a few lines in, and I saw a mantra that's translated here as, this is the first part of the mantra is, Hey, like hey you, Lord Hayagriva, who is the form of the holy mind, etc., etc. And I saw that repeated a few other places. Hey, Lord Hayagriva. Yeah, there's no mantra that I have ever heard of, and I've not heard of them all, but I've never seen anything close to a mantra or anything like a mantra in my modest world, in my modest education, that goes, Hey Lord, yo, what's happening, dude? No, this is a mistranslation. So I'm going to be changing it to what I believe it is, and that is Om. This is a horrible mistranslation. If they've taken Om and turned it into Hey, and in English, hey is really casual. Like I said, hey dude, what's going on? Oh boy. Hopefully the rest of this is not bad, but I recorded the line and I'm like, no, I can't do this. So take two, and yeah, anyone who is reading this may see this translation, and I wanted you to know why I've changed it. There's no way you can tell me that hey is the ring. Sorry. Let me calm down, and then we'll do this. This translation's so frustrating. Here we go. Hayagriva Upanishad. Hari Om. Narada approached Lord Brahma and requested him, O God, please teach me that knowledge of Brahma, by which all sins can be destroyed quickly, and the wisdom of Brahma is realized, and one is blessed with all the wealth. Lord Brahma told as follows. The one who masters the mantras for which Lord Hayagriva is the master would know Shruti, Smrti, Itihasas, or history, and the Puranas, and would be blessed with all types of wealth. Those mantras are as follows. Om Lord Hayagriva, who is the form of the holy mind, who saves everybody, and who is the king of knowledge, salutations to you. Savaha, Savaha. Om Lord Hayagriva, who has the form of Rig, Yajur, and Sama Vedas, who brought these Vedas to earth, who has the shape of the singing of Pranava, and who has a horse head, salutations to you. Savaha, Savaha. Om Lord Hayagriva, who is being sung by the song of the Pranava, who is the God for all those gods of words, who is the personification of all Vedas, and who is beyond thought. Teach us everything. Salutations to you. Svaha, Svaha. For the 29-lettered mantra of Hayagriva, Brahma, Atri, Surya, and Bhargava are the sages. Gayatri, Tushtup, and Anushtup are the meters. God is Hayagriva himself, root is the sound, Swarm, strength, Shakti is Hum. Kalaga, the nail, is Lum. Vinyoga is Bhoga. Moksha in the symbolic rite with the hands is the letters A-U-M. The prayer is, I meditate on that Hayagriva who has the glitter of the full moon, who holds the conch wheel and the great stamp, and the book in his hands. The 29-lettered Hayagriva mantra is Om Shrim Ram Om Namo Bhagavate Hayagriva Vishnave Mahyam Madam Pragnam Bhayatka Svaha. The 28-lettered Hayagriva mantra is Om Shrim Im 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 Klim Klim So So Hrim Om Namo Bhagavate Mayam Madam Pragnam Prayatya Svaha. I will now tell you that the Hayagriva knowledge of Brahma which is of one letter. That is the root letter Lhom. Among all the roots, this Hayagriva single letter root is the king of the mantras. Chanting of the mantra Rum Amrutam Kuru Svaha gives one the mastery over words, wealth, and the 8 occult powers. The mantra Rum Sakala Savraja Shidhim Kuru Kuru Svaha tells us the secret of the great Vedic sayings like Pragnamam Pragnanam Anandam Brahma. Brahma is the realized happiness. Tat Tvam Asi, you are it. Ayam Atma Brahma, my soul is Brahma. And Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahma. The same letter Lum and Husum are the same vowels through different and give worldly pleasure and salvation respectively. After the chanting of Hayagriva mantra, it is normal to chant the Vedic mantras starting with Yad Vak Vahanti and Gaurim Maya, leading to Oshta Pidhana and Sa Pariramatim, and finally Sa Pariramatim. One who reads this Hayagriva knowledge of Brahma on the Ekadasi day would become a great man because of the blessings of Hayagriva. He would get salvation. The Upanishad says, the knowledge of Brahma which is taught with the mantra ending with Om Namo Brahmane would never leave his heart. In thus ends this Upanishad. I do not know who Lord Hayagriva is. So there's many variations of Vishnu and other gods and incarnations and avatars, so that's my fault for not looking this up, but this is not an educational channel. As for the changes, the Hey Lord Hayagriva to the Lord, my belief is these are simply translations of mantras. This is not the mantra. If you go around going, Om Lord Hayagriva, who is the form of the holy mind, who saves everybody, and who is the king of the knowledge, salutation to you, Savaha, Savaha, you're chanting a good sentence, but you're not chanting the mantra. I personally believe that Sanskrit is a language imbued with power. The words have power. It is an amazing language. I wish I could speak it. I think it's fascinating. I just don't have time to learn it. The little bit I've read of it, it's just so well crafted, and I believe that it has power. Those words have energy. Now, I've talked to people who are not Hindus, and they've been like, oh, well, Hebrew is sort of like that too, because that's the language spoken in heaven or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, no, there's a difference between the language spoken by God and a language here among men, which literally has the power to change things. If you read scriptures like the Srimad Bhagavatam, you actually see stories of people with weapons, and the way they make the weapons work is to chant the mantra. You may say that's myth. You may say, well, these voice-activated weapons, that doesn't really work, whatever, that's... You could say that, but I personally believe that the mantras do actually have power. But you need to say them in Sanskrit. You can't use the English, you can't use Russian or Italian or any other language you may speak. You need to find the actual Sanskrit. It needs to be Om Namo Bhagavate, or whatever it is. To chant, I am Brahman, I am Brahma, I am Brahma, I am that, I am that. That is something you will find in modern yoga teachings here in the West. They'll be like, just chant a word. They'll tell you that all the time. And mantra can be anything. I feel good. I feel good. I am strong. But there's a difference between chanting that and chanting a word that literally will make you strong. A mantra, there are mantras that will make you strong. There are prayers and things. This is one problem I've had in thinking about if I want to read the Vedas on this channel, and particularly the Yajur Veda and not the Sama Veda, the Tharva Veda, because those are mostly prayers hymns and rituals and charms. And they're intellectually interesting. The rituals we don't do anymore, so those are just historical. We don't need them. But the hymns are fine, and the prayers are fine. I believe prayers can be said in any language. They can be thought, spoken, written, whatever. But a charm, and you can look, it's the Atharva Veda has charms where you can say, turn this pen into something that will give me powers. I believe reading the English is just like this. It doesn't work. You need to read the Sanskrit. I emphasize this because if you're reading this Upanishad and you're going, oh yeah, I got some mantras, I don't believe you do. You just have nice things you're saying to yourself over and over during the day. Find the Sanskrit and speak the Sanskrit and learn the Sanskrit. And I'm going to end with one story about mantras. And I actually don't have many, and this is a personal experience thing. Why I tell you to use the Sanskrit. Why I think that is better than just chanting, I feel happy, I feel happy. Because I think the Sanskrit is powerful. So I hurt my foot training for a marathon. I hurt my foot like 5 times over a month. I was like, I had Achilles tendonitis. I then had a 2-inch or 3-inch blister, no joke, on the other foot. I then twisted the first foot, and then I got what I thought was runner's heel, but it actually ended up being a stress fracture. And then other parts of my toes were swelling up, and it was so bad I was like limping. Like, they're 90-year-old men who were walking faster than me. It was so hard to walk and move, and I was ice packing it all day. And I was literally like, I can't do it. I'm stressed out, and it was just pain. And I was praying, and I was using ice, and I was using heat, which actually was really good. And I just was like, oh, God, help, please me, so I can get back to running, and so I can run this marathon. And I eventually found a mudra that I started doing. And at the same time that I found this mudra on this YouTube channel, I found a chant. Now, I didn't actually memorize the chant, but the guy had recorded 108 times, and it's a chant for healing, and I would listen to it once a day. It's in Sanskrit. He had the English translation down below, and I remember I could barely walk on Thursday. It was like 2 weeks of this stress fracture. I couldn't run. I could barely walk. It was just miserable. My running time, the few times I'd attempted to run, was slower than my normal walking time. I told my coworkers, I just wave my hands like this to make it look like I'm running, because it was so bad. So anyways, I started doing this mudra, and I started listening to this chant. I would put it on once a day for about an hour. The day I turned that chant on, something happened. I walked home not in pain. And I walk home coming down a mountain, and if you have a stress fracture where you can't put any pressure on your heel, you know the first thing going down the hill is your heel. So I would walk sideways down the hill, or like with baby steps. And I'd get home, I'd be like, oh, I'm in more pain now than I have been all day. But that day, I did this. I would just be sitting there, and I'd be thinking, and then I'd just hear the mantra, sometimes even while I was doing other things. No pain. Woke up the next morning, hardly any pain. I had hardly any pain that night. And days later, I listened every day. I had a long weekend. And I'd listen to this every day, and I'd do the mudra, and no pain. It would be like, literally, just a little pain. But it was nothing. I wasn't hurting. The swelling was there, but it did go down. It was amazing. After 2 weeks of literally no change. So I believe that this mantra had power and changed it, because I literally was barely functioning when it came to walking. I could not walk. And shoes were uncomfortable. Everything was horrible, and I was literally spending all day with ice packs on my feet, both at work and at home. And then suddenly I just did this mantra and it was like gone. Stress fractures don't heal instantly, but this one kind of did. And so I kind of got hooked on mantras then as being like, wow, they work. So there's my story of mantras and why they work. And why I think if you're reading an Upanishad like this, if you're reading any Upanishad, talks about a mantra, ignore the translation. Yeah, you know what it means, you can understand it. Find that Sanskrit and get into it. I'm also just endorsing mantras in general. So anyways, didn't expect to be telling that story, didn't know that's what I'd be going into. But if you have any thoughts, comments, whatever, please down below. And if you have a mantra success story, let me know. And just to be nice, I'll put the link down below to the Swami who posted the mantra and the mudra online and kind of healed me. So you can access his page. He's kind of a cool guy. So there we go. Yeah, thoughts, comments, all that good stuff down below. And Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare.